Hey, AP Psychology crew. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update about the AP exam, which I know is going to affect about 90% of you or so, those of you who are opting to take the exam. But last night there was a webinar, and there's some information posted today that I'm also going to include in this post, giving us more specific details about the test, some of the things we were expecting, and then a couple things that are a little bit different than what we thought it was going to be, including the testing dates. So let me give you some information. Some of this you can find in the link as well, but I figured it would be easy if you just heard it all from me. Um, so let's just get started. We'll make this short and sweet. First of all, last night in the presentation, they accounted for the fact that this is essentially an open book, open note exam at this point. There's no way for them to monitor the resources that you're using next to you, and they are changing the test to account for that. So I'm not encouraging you to go open your notes or have your book right next to you, but they know that it's going to happen. And the questions, the way that they're going to grade the questions, instead of, if we follow SOTA, defining and applying our terms, it's going to be much more on the application now than the definition. So you still want to include information on the definition as you're answering, but you're going to be graded almost solely upon, can you apply the term to whatever the prompt is, which you can't necessarily get from a book or from your notes. So he said, verbatim, this is an open note, open book test, but keep in mind too, with our time constraints, and there is still a lot for us to do during this exam, if you're counting on using open book, open notes, and only using that, you're going to be in trouble because you're going to run out of time very, very quickly. So with that being said, let me give you some other little tidbits of information that I gathered, and that's from the website as well that I'm posting. So we're still going to have two questions. The FRQ time will be 45 minutes. The first question, question one, they say will be 25 minutes. So that's pretty much the same as it was going to be anyway. There were going to be two 25-minute questions. Now there is one 25-minute question. That question is going to cover concept application, and it's going to be worth 55% of your total AP exam. So what it says here, it's going to assess your ability to explain behavior and apply theories and perspectives in authentic contexts. It's very similar in structure to a traditional concept application question, of course, focusing more on the application portion of it, not as much on the definitions. So again, question one, 25 minutes. And then in the middle of your online test, they give you 5 minutes to upload your answer. So whatever device you use to open your exam, that will also be the device that you use to upload your exam. So I would suggest that you use something with a very stable connection. If you have to use a cell phone, of course you can do that, but certainly something where you can type. Remember, we're given the option now, do you want to type it or do you want to handwrite it? I think most of you can probably type much more quickly than you're able to handwrite, but if you're still set on handwriting it and then taking a picture and uploading it, you're able to do that as well. So 25 minutes for question one, 5 minutes to upload that to the test website. Question two is worth 45% of the exam, and it is only 15 minutes long. So you'll have to move a little bit faster. I have no idea how many concepts are going to be included with each question. That information has not been released yet. Question two, though, that is 15 minutes, is going to cover research methods. So a heavy, heavy focus on our Myers Unit 2, or what the College Board calls Unit 1. It says it's going to assess your ability to analyze psychological research studies, including analyzing and interpreting quantitative data. So really similar in structure to traditional research methods questions. These were the two question types that were going to appear anyway on the AP exam, but I imagine they're adjusting them for our situations. One really important thing to note, because this is a timed test, the question came up yesterday, what happens if we submit it late? You cannot submit it late. If you submit late, they will not score it. They will count it as a 0. That's why the 15-minute time limit for question two, the 25-minute time limit for question one is so important. Also, you are going to have a proctor when you are at school. This isn't a huge deal, but you're going to have to proctor yourself. The software is going to come with a timer that you can either have on or off on your device. You can choose to turn it off. but you do need to make sure that you cover that material for question 1 in 25 minutes, upload it within the 5-minute time period, and then for question 2 that you cover it in 15 minutes, and again, upload it within the required time period. And that's where you get your 45 or 50-minute test. The test date for us is on May 19th. I don't know what day of the week that is off the top of my head. I think it might be a Thursday, Tuesday, somewhere in there. It's probably a Tuesday. That would make sense. At 1 o'clock. There is also a makeup date. If you are not able to make May 19th for whatever reason, the makeup date is June 4th. It would be at 3 o'clock. I suppose that's also the date if you just don't feel ready by May 19th, but I would be really careful relying on June 4th, because if something were to go wrong technologically on your end with internet or whatever it may be, and the date passes, then unfortunately you would again score a 0 on the exam. Another question that came up was, what about extended time? If you have an IEP or a 504, you get 50% additional time or 100% additional time. If that was already worked into your test details through Ms. Prang and counseling, then it should automatically show up on your timer on the day of the test that instead of having 25 minutes, you would have 50 or 37.5 minutes, whatever it would end up being for time and a half. So that should be taken care of. So what does that mean for us? I guess actually one more thing that I forgot to note. It was my top bullet point. I didn't include it. Because it is an open note, open book exam, they are taking top priority on making sure that people are not consulting with one another and taking a group test, if you will. They elaborated on a few of the security measures they were using and some of the software that they have, but they're keeping some of the other software confidential, I suppose, as a major deterrent for people trying to do the test together. I guess bottom line, guys, do it on your own. Don't take the risk of possibly borrowing an answer from somebody else. They also have imposter detection from handwriting samples and other various things. So give an honest effort, put in the time, study, and you're going to do great. You've been prepared for this already. Not much is changing. I've really been proud of how you guys have been writing, and I think you're going to knock this thing out. So don't try to scheme around. Don't try to search Reddit, because they will use plagiarism software, and they will quickly score you a 0. So moving forward, what does that mean for us? I think we can certainly slow our pace down a little bit. For those of you that were submitting schedules, and many psychology teachers, many AP teachers thought that they were going to put a mid-April date. That's not going to work out because they're still creating the exams. They're adjusting everything. All this time and money is being spent, and understandably so, that the earliest they could do it, this was the first possible date. And College Board actually said they were hoping to administer the exams in June, but so many students and teachers requested that they be done in May that they pushed it up as early as possible. So that is the new plan, to have it later in May. And for us moving forward, I think we're going to continue to review instead of moving into, certainly not move into treatments and social psychology, a couple of the units that we didn't have a chance to cover. But our time would be best spent, because you are busy, and I want to honor your time that you're spending reviewing and making sure that you are as best prepared as you can be. So with that being said, I posted yesterday or a couple days ago, I can't recall, they are doing the review series on YouTube. I highly encourage you to check those out. They're great videos. They're not flashy or really exciting, but in terms of review, they are excellent. And now that we have the time to go topic by topic, they're posting 2 a day. I know that would be an hour of your time, and that is a lot to ask, in addition to your other testing methods. But whatever you're doing, you can extend your schedule out for our date, May 19th, and go a little bit slower, which will also give you time to study for your other AP exams if you're taking them, or to complete work for your other courses. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to give you a practice FRQ every once in a while, and eventually the College Board said they were also going to release some resources and sample answers so that we can see kind of what they're looking for with this new type of test. If you have any questions, please let me know. Why don't you leave a comment in your classroom? That way I can respond and everyone can see. But until the next time we talk, keep studying, have fun, enjoy the outdoors, and spread some kindness to your family. See you guys.